Welcome to the Drive-In Movie Podcast.
Now playing Mission Impossible Final Reckoning.
And Lilo and Stitch.
The
live-action remake.
That was very nice. Yeah, well, welcome to the podcast where we watch the movie in the movie theater and then immediately come to the car to film a podcast in the car.
We, minutes ago, just got out of the theater for Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning. So it's completely fresh on our brains. But we did also see Lilo and Stitch on Thursday.
A couple days ago. And the reason why we're filming this podcast in the car is because we always said we had our best conversations about movies in the car on the way home.
Right. While we're still remembering everything that we just saw.
Yes. Caution. Please be advised, there's no professional equipment in this podcast because we're in a car.
We're literally, our podcast studio is a 2019 Nissan. So, you know.
Yeah. So if you hear any muffles, if you hear any buffles,
if you hear any honks, if you hear, if
police stop by,
if somebody walks by the windows,
that is why.
But I am kind of proud of the setup that we have considering that it's so mobile. I mean, we've got lights, we've got stands, we've got mics.
It is a very, very well done. I think a lot of podcasters would be lucky to have this studio. we truly give off Sonic commercial vibes.
Right, the two guys. Oh my God.
That's our vibe.
What you know about the Sonic guys? What you know? They haven't been on the air in years, I bet.
No, because they left room for us to fill the gap.
Yeah, well, someone's gotta.
Someone had to.
I mean, we're talking about America's drive-thru right now.
For sure. And can I argue that America's film franchise, America's favorite movie star, Tom Cruise, America's franchise, Mission Impossible.
What is
Tom Cruise is like, what can I do this time?
Something's wrong with that guy, dude.
Yeah.
He's got a death wish.
The dude, he's like, okay, hear me out. Let me hang on a plane. Yeah. And we're going to do it for real. And let me handle winds and speeds that are insane.
You can see it in his face. His whole face is rippling.
A face
is not supposed to ripple.
Do you know what's crazy? Quick spoiler alert. There's a moment in this movie where they're like, Tom, you will, if you hold your breath for any half a second, your lungs will explode as you go up to surface. And he loses his entire suit.
Dude.
And then he has to hold his breath and his lungs do not explode. And I fully believe that would happen because it's Tom Cruise.
Every Mission Impossible movie, they are putting Tom Cruise and also just Tom Cruise's character, Ethan Hawke, in the most ridiculous circumstances that make me tense up for way too long.
It's the best part of the movie. It is the best part of every Tom Cruise movie.
If you have a phobia about the ocean, this movie is going to make you uncomfortable for 30 minutes straight.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't cut from scene A to scene B back to scene A. It's you are going to be uncomfortably watching Tom Cruise not drown. Well, maybe not drown. It's a
You're
gray
gonna be
area.
uncomfortable. Do you know what's crazy?
What?
Genuinely crazy.
What?
What is something that everybody says Tom Cruise deserves?
An Oscar?
An Oscar for stunts, right? So everyone's been saying, hey, you have to create a stunt category or an Oscar category for stunts. And Tom Cruise deserves to win. Name it the Tom Cruise Award, for God's sake. Yeah. Do something. Well, and so for years, people have petitioned for this award to exist. And the Academy this year finally said, hey, guys, we're bringing stunts to the Academy Awards. We're starting it in 2026, the year after Tom Cruise's supposedly final Mission Impossible movie.
But dude,
that's so rude.
But also, it's just so cool to hear that it's actually finally happening. Because John Wick, Fall Guy,
but
Mission
now
Impossible.
It's a situation where Tom Cruise will not be the first person to win, and honestly, I feel like he deserves that honor.
Well, there were plenty of other people who did lots of cool stunts,
but no one's gonna compare to literally hanging off a plane. And this is the second time he did it.
He also hung off the Burj Khalifa. That Tom Cruise cannot just ride in a plane normally. No. He's got to be on the outside of Air Force One, or he's got to be, he's got to hook onto a biplane as it's going off the runway, grapple into one seat, get off the plane again, grapple into the other seat, get off that plane, grapple into a second biplane in the air. He cannot just ride in a plane.
Do you think Tom Cruise was one of those people who, brought a notepad on his, commercial flights, sat specifically at the seats that are, when you open the window, you see the wings? And do you think he just sat there for, hours just, taking notes on how he could potentially, survive in a situation if he had to hang there for an entire flight? Because I feel like he did.
You phrased that hypothetical as, do you think Tom Cruise is one of those people? And then gave the most specific scenario I've ever heard in my life. What do you mean one of those people?
I'm sure he's not the only one.
There's not a single person in the world who does that.
I've theorized about it before.
But you did not pull out a notepad and
I'm not Tom Cruise. I won't actually go do it. You said Tom Cruise will actually do it. So therefore, theoretically, it is not without realm of reality that Tom Cruise has sat there and taken notes about
that is not
and strategized.
That is not a category of people. You can't say.
I said one of those people. I didn't
that's
say.
What I mean.
Are you like
that's implying that there's a category.
Implying that there's a small pool of people that do this.
What's the pool of people?
I never said like there's a massive amount of people who did it.
It's a fucking.
You assumed that I wasn't talking about a very small group of people.
You're talking about an inflatable kiddie pool in the backyard size of people. It's a pool for one, and it's Tom
Maybe
Cruise.
2. I'm sure there's a second person out there who's done it.
Oh my god!
Sound off in the comments if you are one of those people. Prove Michael
one
wrong.
of those people. If you're one of those
people. You know
people.
what, Michael? The next time I fly, I'm going to pick that seat. I'm gonna bring a notepad and I'm going to take notes.
You're joining the group of one of those people
just to prove my point.
Okay. Anyway.
And what are you gonna do? You can't do nothing.
I want to talk about Mission Impossible.
All right, let's talk about Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning.
Right, dude. Am I the only one who didn't understand what was happening for the majority of the movie?
Have you seen any of the other Mission Impossible movies?
I've seen each of them like once. Actually, I probably haven't seen the first 2, but I've seen the other ones. But they were so long ago, and I've only seen them like in theaters.
I feel like you are the only one because Mission Impossible tends to have a thing where they tell you exactly what they're going to do, and then they even show you clips of it happening while they're explaining it, so you can have an idea of what they need to do.
I was trying to. Okay, so here. Let me walk you through my thought process during the movie. The first half an hour of the movie.
Oh, so slow.
Slow.
Oh yeah, I was.
They kept flashing back to like previous stuff that had happened in previous movies, and then flashing forward, and then flashing sideways. And I was like, can we just like watch a scene until they actually got to like
the submarine?
Not even the submarine. When they met the president, when they went into like the bunker, the nuclear bunker,
didn't know what was going on.
It was like they were just going all over the place. Like it wasn't a linear thing.
Yeah. It was edited in a very strange way until the title sequence, and then you're like, that was all just.
Right,
that's why I was jumping.
It was like 30 minutes. And then I understood what was happening from there through the submarine, but then after Tom Cruise, like after they get onto the ice, after the submarine scene and he decompresses and whatever, and then he's in the plane and they explain what the second half of the movie is going to be, there's too many elements. They're like, here's the box I just got, and here's what it does, and then here's the kill switch, but we also need this box, which is a 5D genie lamp. They said 5D prism or something like, and I was like, what do you mean 5D? And then they were like,
what are the 5Ds?
Yeah, and then they were like, and so then you have a half a second to, oh my god, there's a coyote. Look. Oh my god.
Whoa.
He's staring right at us.
Are we toast?
No, it's a coyote.
What if he?
This is great. Should I grab the phone? Should I spin it around?
I feel like we should spin this around. Hold up. Here, you spin the phone.
Here, I'm gonna grab my. Oh, he's walking.
Oh, he went away.
Yeah, hold on. I'm grabbing it.
No, he went away. He's over there now. He's way over there.
Look, I see him. Focus.
Do you see his butt?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
He was really close to us for a while.
Yeah, he was right there. This is the magic of the Drive-In Movie Podcast. We told you guys. You never know what's gonna happen.
Spin around. There you go.
There we go. There's a money shot.
God.
What if I like whistled at him?
I'm naming him Ethan Hawke. I'm naming him Tom Cruise.
There's 2. There's 2. There's 2 coyotes. 1, 2. Whoa. This has become a wildlife podcast. Come here, boy. Sweet baby. Sweet babies.
I still don't see the second one.
There's one right there, and then the second one's right over there. Look, the second one's going into the light. No, he's right there. He's like, look at the fire lane. Like, as if you're exiting the parking lot. He's right there.
Here, grab the phone.
He's right over there. You were so close. He's right there. There's one. I don't know where the second one went. This is crazy. Whoa.
Well, I had to put down the mic so I could.
It's okay. I had the mic the whole time.
Yeah.
I was giving commentary. Back to our. Are you still recording?
Oh yeah, I'm still recording, but now I gotta position it on me again.
Wow, this is crazy.
So what should we name him? I was throwing out some name options.
Ethan. I feel like Ethan Hawke.
Ethan Hawke.
Well, no,
but he's a coyote.
He's Ethan Hunt.
Oh,
His
Ethan
name's
Hunt.
Ethan Hunt.
Oh, Ethan Hawke's the actor?
No,
So-
Ethan Hawke. Well, I guess Ethan Hawke is an actor.
Yeah. No, I mean not Ethan Hawke didn't play Ethan Hunt, but I mean like Ethan Hawke is an actor.
Is an actor, yeah.
Okay.
I think Ethan.
So he's Ethan Hunt. Hunt
Ethan
is a good name for a coyote.
Hunt.
Too.
Yeah, let's just name him Hunt.
Okay.
His name's Hunt. Wait, there's
Hunter?
two of them. One's Ethan, the second one's Hunt.
Yeah. Okay.
Ethan Hunt.
Ethan and Hunt.
Man, oh man. Well,
right.
we kind of got sidetracked there a little bit,
Oh,
but
for
for good
sure.
reason. I mean, coyotes are very cute. Do not actually go touch a coyote.
Dude,
though.
I've seen that coyotes are trying to like domesticate themselves. Like they're becoming more people friendly. They used to be terrified of people. Now they're just
I would
kind of like
cuddle
walking
them.
up to people.
I would cuddle them in a second.
I mean, still don't do that, but
I would.
yeah.
Okay, we skipped a step here. How many Michaels are we giving Mission Impossible for the Final Reckoning?
Should you? I think you should go first.
Ah, man. I think I give it 7 Michaels.
I give-
6.5. 6.5 Michaels.
I gave it 6.
Yeah.
So
I
we're
think
pretty close.
like
It's not great.
I didn't really care about the first I didn't really care about the movie until he got to the submarine.
Uh-huh.
And then I got really interested in what he was doing because then it got stressful, everything intensified, and I was like, okay, great. This is the action I want.
Yeah.
It's good action. The characters are shining through a little bit. There's Mission Impossible movies, they always talk about the same thing in these movies, like how Ethan Hunt, you have a pattern. These movies all have a pattern.
Yeah.
And it never gets exciting for me until the exact same point.
And they love a ticking clock.
They do love
Every
a ticking
Mission
clock.
Impossible movie has like a ticking clock, and it's always the last second.
Yeah,
when they're
always the
like-
last second.
It's like, as soon as they went into like the DEFCON room, like the nuclear bunker, and there's a clock on the board that's like 3 days, 5 hours. I'm like, we're gonna see that hit 0. Like,
Yeah.
we're gonna see that.
And I think Mission Impossible movies, I think this is the best way I can describe all of them. Right?
Uh-huh.
I can give the same review for all of them. I will always go see it in theaters because
Uh-huh.
they're fun.
Mm-hmm.
I will always love the action and stunts. I'll always love Tom Cruise in these movies, and the side characters are always great in my opinion.
Mhm.
But the movies are all 6.5 out of 10 movies. I can never rewatch them.
Yeah.
They're a one and done deal for me.
I can't really name any of the characters or the plot of any previous Mission Impossible movie. I can remember some of the stunts.
Yeah.
And I also remember like some of the sequences. Like, do you remember like the umbrella scene that projected the thing that was behind in front so that it looked like they were
Yeah.
invisible?
Yeah.
Like I remember some gadgets and some stunts and stuff, but I can't name the characters or tell you why they were doing what they were doing.
Yeah.
They don't. And to go back to my point a little bit, like the thing with like the 3 devices and they had to do things in a specific order and wait for specific lights to light up and stuff like that. I was like, wait, why? I thought if you're gonna trap it, why do you need these other 2 devices?
Because one opened it up. One opened the door.
One
You
opened
cut the
door,
thing to open the door to get to the trap.
then why do you need the kill switch if you're gonna trap it?
To cut the power so it can't run away? I don't know.
No, see, you don't know. And it didn't cut the power. It was like Luther's device it wasn't cutting the power. It was like
Well,
they called it like the poison pill or something.
yeah, something
but
like
it's like,
that.
but
It
you
needed
weren't
a
really-
place to run away, I guess.
Yeah,
I
but
don't know.
that's the thing. Is like, why are you poisoning it if you're also capturing it? I was like, I don't understand why they're doing these things.
Yeah, but I had fun while they were doing
I
it.
had fun.
I was enjoying it. I was
Yeah.
stressed. I guess that's the
Yeah.
point.
Dude, how is Gabriel getting all these nukes too? Like, I understand how the entity's getting the nukes. Gabriel has 2 nukes in this movie.
He's just like, I got nukes.
Yeah,
And they're gonna go off.
and he's just some guy. He's not a country. He's just some guy. How is he getting these nukes? And he never actually wants to detonate them. He's always setting them on timers. He's like,
He's like, listen, I have them.
yeah, I'm gonna kill you, Ethan Hunt, in 20 minutes, unless you can defuse
If you
my
think about
bomb.
it, it's the classic villain flaw. Like, if you just killed him then,
Oh yeah, the villains always give the heroes a chance.
like,
They're-
you knew he brought the thing.
yeah,
So just kill him and just take it off his body.
yeah.
What are we doing?
No, they're always like, but I need to be able to get away. So I'm gonna. Okay, well, surely you could have like, I don't know, set up a FaceTime situation or a video, something. Like,
Something.
how is he getting these nukes too?
Do you think we'll get another Mission Impossible movie? Do you think this really was the last one?
It's 100% possible. They're always doing this. Oh, this is the last one. Even if it's like 10 years from now, I think it's
Possibly
totally
like 10 years
possible.
from now.
Yeah.
Do you know why I think it's going to be a long time at the very least?
Why?
Because I think at the end of the day, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning will have lost to Lilo and Stitch in the box office.
Oh, God.
I
was not a fan of Lilo and Stitch either.
Before we get into Lilo and Stitch,
Yeah.
how would you rank Mission Impossible among the iconic franchises we have. So I want to list some franchises. Let's both throw out some franchises.
Okay. I think I would list it pretty low as far as franchises go.
Do you think it is better than the Harry Potter franchise?
No.
All right, now you name a franchise.
Okay, do you think it's better than the Hunger Games franchise?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh wait, did I say no? It wasn't better than Harry Potter.
How
are we doing it? Is it better or worse?
Is it better? Okay, yes if it's better, no if it's not better.
Okay, yes, it's better than Harry Potter.
You think Mission Impossible is better than Harry Potter?
Wait, fuck.
What?
No, Harry Potter? No, because you said Harry Potter.
I said, is it better than Harry Potter? No.
Oh, okay. I thought you were. I was saying
yeah,
yes, Harry Potter is better than Mission Impossible.
I screwed this up.
Okay.
All right, let's start over. Okay.
Okay.
Is Mission Impossible better than Harry Potter?
No.
Okay. Now your turn.
Is Mission Impossible better than the Hunger Games?
Yes.
Mission Impossible better than the Hunger Games?
Yeah, the Hunger Games. I mean, listen. There's a level of like. There's still like a respect of like the stunts and the fact that a lot of it is real. That I do think plays an important factor. And the Hunger Games, for me, I really like the first one. Second one's okay, and just gets worse and worse.
But I do think that
this is at least a consistent experience every few years.
But the Hunger Games changed the culture. I mean, like, I definitely feel like people talk more about the Hunger Games and like know more about.
It's more of a fandom, but I personally will still take Mission Impossible over Hunger Games.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Would you take Mission Impossible over Pirates of the Caribbean?
No.
Okay.
Would you take it over? Oh, I just had Need for Speed. Not Need for Speed. Fast and
Furious? Yes, because I've never seen Fast and Furious.
You've never seen Fast and Furious?
I refuse. At this point, I'm like, I feel like I'm one of the few who's
not
never
a single Fast and Furious movie.
Not a single Fast and Furious movie.
How have you avoided? There's like 11 of them. How have you avoided every single one?
Which is why I feel like I have to keep going.
You're dodging Fast and Furious movies like it's The Matrix.
I've also never seen The Matrix, which is actually going to change in a couple weeks.
Okay. That's another franchise that you'd rate Mission Impossible
yeah,
over.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Star Wars, obviously not.
Of course not.
Of course not. Indiana Jones.
No. Indiana Jones is so much better.
I
don't know if I would rate Mission Impossible over like any franchise, frankly.
Yeah, there is a few. There's very few that I think it'd be better than. I can't think of them on top of my head. I'm sure it's not the worst franchise out there.
I love that Tom Cruise. I mean, I like James Bond better than Mission Impossible.
I like Mission Impossible more than I like James Bond.
Really?
Yes, that I do like.
I've seen Casino Royale like a billion times. Daniel
Craig's amazing.
Yeah.
They're not like, this isn't to say they're bad movies. I just think I enjoy Mission Impossible more. Like I said, it's so fun seeing Tom Cruise do these like crazy stunts.
I'm so glad that he has like a medium to really just do wacky shit. Yeah. Like I'm thankful for Mission Impossible. But I really wouldn't rate it high as far as franchises go.
Mm-hmm. Do you think Mission Impossible is better than the Toy Story franchise?
Now we're talking. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Turd.
Because again, I've said it a billion times.
I know. You don't need to say it again. We get it. You hate Toy Story.
Toy Story has one or two good movies. Two good movies.
Ridiculous. Stupid trash take.
You can fight me for it.
All right. Well, was Mission Impossible better than Lilo and Stitch?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
By a long shot.
Yes. Mission Impossible is better than Lilo and Stitch. Shall we go ahead and dive into Lilo and Stitch?
Sure.
All right. Out of 10, how many Michaels?
Do you want to start or should I start?
I think I'm giving Lilo and Stitch 6 Michaels.
6? You're giving it like almost as much as Mission Impossible.
It's a very different set of Michaels. If we're being fair.
Okay.
Mission Impossible is more of like a 7 for me.
Uh-huh.
Lilo and Stitch, I'm at 6, potentially 5.5.
I'm giving it like 3.
3
and
Michaels?
I think I'm being generous with the 3.
I think that's a little ridiculous.
No.
That's kind of stupid.
Not at all.
You don't think... Okay, Michael,
I didn't enjoy that movie.
What about Lilo and Stitch did you not enjoy?
Okay. The Michaels that I'm giving it are based purely on just the fact that the CGI is good. Like I feel like the alien scenes, every alien, I was impressed by the level of detail.
Okay.
Other than that, I feel like they kind of butchered the story. I feel like I didn't really believe Lilo's and that's because she's 5 years old. The actor's 5 years old.
You say they butchered the story, but like, are you able to separate animated for the original with this? Like, are you able to separate them? Or are you constantly comparing?
I mean, this one especially is pretty similar. So, like, for example...
honestly, it's not that
similar. The Jungle Book, I could easily separate the two. Because they are totally different. This one, they had lines that were exactly the same. They had scenes that were exactly
Jungle
the
Book
same.
had lines that were exactly the same. Jungle Book had scenes that were exactly the same. They all have scenes and lines that are exactly the same.
No, but this one they clearly made it to try and be almost follow the exact rubric. Like it starts off with Lilo feeding a peanut butter sandwich to the fish.
Yes, the opening sequence is shot for shot.
And then she goes to hula, and Nani doesn't show up, and then she pushes some girl.
Nani she didn't push a girl because Nani didn't show up at the first time.
But I mean, it's exactly the same. All right, that's one small element different. But then she goes home and she locks herself in the house, and then the service worker shows up. And it's like the record scratch. I mean, even that they pulled from it. You know, Nani gesturing over the service representative to tell Lilo what to say. Stitch falling from the sky. I mean, Nani and Lilo kind of having a makeup, and then Stitch falling from the sky. Lilo wishes on the star. So much of it is so similar. I could keep going on like throughout the movie. They just took some elements of the good elements. They took. I mean, there was like no Elvis in it.
There was Elvis in it.
There was like no Elvis in it.
They played Elvis music. Not as much, but they still had Elvis in it. We got Elvis Stitch.
They got rid of Gantu. I
didn't really miss Gantu in this.
I did a lot. Jumba does not feel like a villain, especially Zach Galifianakis. I think most of the actors I just didn't really like. There was so much wrong with it. I struggled to think of something else that I really like about it.
Okay. I liked the humor in it. I know even if it was repeating, I didn't like it
from the original movie.
I liked Stitch's
the original
chaos.
movie did it better.
I'm not saying the original movie didn't do it better. I'm just saying like sometimes you do have to separate it because it is different movies. It's a different like viewing experience, and it's still like if you've never seen Lilo and Stitch, you would have enjoyed this movie, I think. And like yes, we are burdened with the fact that we have seen Lilo and Stitch a million times, but if you've never seen it, you would have enjoyed this movie. Yes. Now, with that being said, there are some things that like I also didn't think was that great. Like the editing at the beginning was a little choppy, and I didn't like that like the little kids outside of Lilo when they were talking, it was always the back of their heads, and that drove me nuts. I'm like, show me their faces while they're speaking. That part, yes, like I agree, and I don't like Zach Galifianakis as Jumba. I don't. I 100% agree with that for sure. But I do think this movie is still an entertaining movie, and it's still good. Like I had a great time. I was laughing. I liked seeing things come back to life. I do enjoy that aspect, and for the most part, I am able to separate it. But yeah, I actually really liked Nani's journey. I thought there was a good emphasis on Nani and her kind of accepting that her life is her life, and accepting that she doesn't have to be perfect, and opening up her life to Stitch. I liked how they handled Nani. I liked her arc in the movie. There is a popular thing though that people are discussing right now, and it's the fact that Nani gave up Lilo. Did that bother you at all?
No, because of the portal scene. But I do feel like it was a cop-out where she was like, okay, someone else can take care of Lilo, and then I'm just going to pop in whenever I want because I have alien technology. Mm-hmm. So it's like, it didn't really bother me because I don't actually feel like she was abandoning Lilo. I
mean, I think, like, I understand where people are coming from when they're upset about the fact that Nani let the state take Lilo or whatever, but like in honesty, it's like it's going to the next door neighbors with David and David's mother, and it's Nani I think is supposed to be younger in this movie than she was in the original movie. I don't think she was a 18, 19-year-old girl in the original movie. Mm-hmm. And it's like, is she not allowed to have a future, go to college? Like, yes, like the idea of giving up Lilo is crazy, and the idea of like Lilo's been through so much, but I think that's why it's so important that like Lilo, it was the one to tell her to go.
Yeah.
And like she does have Stitch, and she does have this new Ohana, and that's what the whole ending was. So like it was fine. Like she was still in her home.
Yeah, I just didn't really believe the family in this one.
Yeah.
Like they just didn't, none of them really felt like a family to me.
That's fair too.
Like Nani and Lilo, there was some sort of disconnect to me. Stitch, I never saw like the moment where they became like one cohesive unit. The neighbors, it all just felt kind of artificial. And so and because that's like the central premise of the movie, it kind of falls flat.
where would you rank Lilo and Stitch among the other live action
actions?
movies?
Probably towards the bottom.
Really? Okay, let's talk about this.
I mean, the main character's
Do you think Lilo and Stitch is better than... Who cares if she's 5 years old?
Because if she's going to have most of the screen time, I mean, she's just not... She doesn't have the age and experience.
I thought she was fine.
Every single joke she told, I didn't believe it. Like, and Lilo's supposed to have like this almost like experience beyond her age. Like, she's saying crazy stuff. Like, she's saying like, "Leave me alone to die." Like, she's like, but like Lilo in this one says the same.
I'm allergic
line.
to your bad takes.
Bless you. Lilo in this one says the same line, but she clearly like doesn't understand the emphasis behind it, like the point of it. You know, it was just her line. She was an actor. She said her line, and they moved on. And again, it's not her fault. She's a 5-year-old kid. But if they got someone who's like a couple years older, like maybe like an 8-year-old even, like there's some really good child actors out there. But I don't think that you can be like a good child actor at a certain youth because you just don't know enough about life.
I still thought she was fine. Like, I thought like her line delivery was good. I mean, her it was honestly impressive for her age. The fact that she was 5 and she was doing
it was impressive for her age, but I don't believe it. Watching her for like an hour, I'm like, I'm sorry, you're doing a great job, but you're 5 years old and you don't know what you're saying.
You really think Lilo and Stitch was worse than Mulan?
I mean, I never saw Mulan.
Mulan was awful. I can tell you, look, Lilo and Stitch, the live action adaptation of Lilo and Stitch is better than Mulan, Pinocchio, Lady and the Tramp. I thought it was better than Snow White. I think it's better.
I think it's pretty close
than
to
Aladdin. I think I enjoyed it more than I enjoyed Lion King and Mufasa.
So you're ranking it towards the top of the live
action I do think it is towards the top of the live action Disney movies. Are we crazy? Honestly, like, nothing is anywhere near comparable to Jungle Book. 1000%. I did like The Little Mermaid. I think it's probably Little Mermaid and Lilo and Stitch are probably at the same level. I may even still give the edge to Lilo and Stitch.
Wow.
If we're being honest. I personally like Beauty and the Beast more, but that's just because of Emma Watson.
You've always been an Emma
I've always
Watson
loved Emma Watson.
Yeah.
And then I think I enjoy Lilo and Stitch more than I enjoyed Cinderella. I am more likely to rewatch Lilo and Stitch than I am to watch Cinderella. So really, we're talking like it's probably in the top 3 of live-action Disney movies.
Wow.
Now,
I might watch Snow White again before watching this one.
I don't know if I'll ever watch Snow White again.
I did, exactly. I hope if I never watch Snow White again, it'll be too soon.
That's good. I don't know. I think so. You think it's one of the worst live action remakes ever made?
Yeah,
I think it's one of the better ones.
I don't like live action remakes anyway.
Yeah,
so
that's true. But that's also like my point. Like you went into this movie already like you told me you weren't expecting to like this movie.
Right.
And so like you already went into it thinking I'm not gonna like this movie. I'm not gonna like this movie. You put your mind in that place. Like, to where right off the get-go, you had the same expression and you kept it the entire time. Did you really give it a chance to enjoy it?
Because Berkan, I wasn't expecting to enjoy Thunderbolts. And I filmed myself saying, you know what? I enjoyed it more than I thought I was going. I haven't enjoyed a Marvel movie in the past 5 years.
Did you think that you walked into it thinking, like, I'm not going to like this movie?
Lilo and Stitch?
No, Thunderbolts.
Yeah. Okay. I was like, I haven't liked a lot of them. I'm probably not going to like this one. I didn't like, I was hoping for Deadpool and Wolverine to be good, and it wasn't. To me, so that's why I'm willing to be convinced that I'm wrong. Like even if I walk in with low expectations, to me that just means the bar's lower. If you actually do a decent job, then I'm gonna be like, oh, I thought you were gonna do bad. So congratulations, I'm pleasantly surprised. You made a decent movie.
All right, whatever.
And that's fine. I mean, we have different preferences, so I'm not trying to convince you.
No, that's fine. It's of course we have different preferences. You're stupid. I'm smart. Right.
Okay.
Do you agree?
Didn't you say
I do have a game
for me? Okay.
Yeah, I do have a game. I want to see how well you know the live action Disney movie Rotten Tomatoes. I want to compare. Let me rephrase. I didn't explain that very correctly.
Okay.
My brain went into a different place. In fact, I want to say this before we get into this game. I will say, having seen the live-action How to Train Your Dragon movie, that movie is so well done
Mm-hmm.
and such a love letter, and it's so good. I'm hoping you enjoy it based off, like, I know you don't like these live action remakes, so I'm hoping you enjoy it. But to me, it was so, like, I saw that, I was like, this is what a live action remake should be.
Yeah.
It's hard. It was hard for Lilo and Stitch to be the movie I saw after that.
I'm hopeful for How to Train Your Dragon because I liked Jungle Book, so I know it's possible. I know it's possible for me to watch to enjoy a live action remake.
I will still stand by this take. There's a chance if you see How to Train Your Dragon, the live action, for the first time, or if you're watching the How to Train Your Dragon original animated film, whichever one you see first is going to be your favorite version.
Okay.
That's how strong it is. That it is literally toe-to-toe with the animated. I give the animated an edge, of course, but, like, it is good. There's one thing about it I think people will be upset about, but I can't get into that.
You can't tell us yet. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to watch the live action remake, and then I'm going to rewatch the animated version to have, like, an apples to apples comparison.
That's fair. That's a good call. Just don't watch the animated before you watch the live action.
Okay.
I never watched the animated movie right before watching the live action adaptation for the first time. It's only going to make your experience worse because you're then going to compare before you need to start comparing. You know?
Yeah.
All right. Now I want to go into our game.
Okay.
I'm going to name a live action Disney movie, and you need to tell me the Rotten Tomatoes score of the original movie and the live action movie. So we're going to see if you basically agree with what the critics say about these movies.
So these are the critic scores.
These are the critic scores.
Not the audience scores.
Not the audience scores.
Okay.
So we're also going to see if one was better than the other.
Okay.
So I'm going to start with Snow White. What was the original animated Rotten Tomatoes score?
Rotten Tomatoes doesn't exist until, like,
but there's still a critic score.
Okay, so they went back.
And some of these critic scores are stupid for the original animated movies, just to be clear.
Snow White, they must have rated the original Snow White high because it was like the original Disney movie that started an entire industry.
So what number would you
give it? And the most
it?
important, like, movie company to date. They must have given it, like, at least an 80%.
Was that your guess?
80% is my guess.
97%.
That makes sense.
I think it's a criminal score, if we're being honest.
I don't enjoy Snow White either, but the critics would have had to give it that score.
What do you think the live action critic score is?
The live 20.
39%. So you're wrong.
I'm getting in the right hemisphere. I'm getting within 20%.
All right, Lion King. First of all, what was better? The original Lion King score or the live action score?
The original.
Okay, now what was the original score?
This was the highest grossing Disney movie for a long time, so I'm going to guess like 90%.
Okay. And what was the live action guess?
Wait, am I close on that?
I want you to guess both before I tell you.
Okay, and then the live action, let's give it 60. I think it's pretty good as far as live action goes.
I think I was wrong about Snow White, by the way. I think it was 59%, not 39%.
Really?
Yeah. The
critics gave it more than 50%?
Yeah, I can't read my handwriting. Yep. All right, Lion King. The original Rotten Tomatoes score is 93%. So you were pretty cool. You were pretty right on.
3% off, yeah.
The live action adaptation was 52.
Okay, and I guess what, 60?
Yes.
So I was
pretty close. You're pretty close.
Spot on.
All right. One. Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast, live action. Animated. Gosh, this is a Disney classic too. Came out in the 90s though, so I think, right? Yep. So it's a little bit newer as far as, like, the animated Disney movies go. I'm gonna give it an 85. I think the critics would have given it like an 85% for the animated.
And what do you think for live action?
For live action, let's give it 50.
95% animated score.
What did I say? 85?
85.
Okay. So 10%.
Live action was 77.
Ooh. Okay, I was really off on the live action.
You were very off. Little Mermaid.
Little Mermaid. Now, here's the thing. I'm not a huge Little Mermaid fan. I don't know what the critics would say for it. I think I would want to give Little Mermaid, the animated version, like a 70. I would want to give both the animated and the live action Little Mermaids 70s.
Which one do you think would be higher?
I'm giving them both. I'm giving the...
So you think that you got the same score?
I'm going to give the animated Little Mermaid 75. And then the live action 70.
Okay. The animated Little Mermaid was 92%.
Wow. All of these are like...
And the live action adaptation was 67.
Okay, so that one I was within like 3%.
You're pretty close.
Yeah.
You're pretty close. All right, Mulan.
Mulan. Gosh, this one's got to be a big divide. Original, let's give it a 90. All of these are doing like 90s. And then the live action, you said it's like one of the worst.
I think it's one of the worst.
I'm going to give it
People don't always have to agree with me.
I know that they changed a lot about it. I know that they took out the music. I haven't seen it. No Mushu. I'm going to give it like a 30 because they got rid of a lot of the stuff that people loved.
96% for animated film, 57% live action.
Wow.
A lot higher than I thought.
So none of these live actions are actually doing bad.
Not terrible.
As far as the critics go, yeah.
All right, Lilo and Stitch.
Lilo and Stitch, the original. What would the critics think? Because again, these aren't the audience scores. I want to rate it so high, but I don't know if the critics would agree. I think the critics are going to give it an 85. And then the live action, let's give it a 40. Because I would give it less than a 40, but I'm always underestimating what these critics.
The critics gave the original animated film, you said 85. It was 86.
Whoa.
Yeah, 86%. The live action got 74%.
74?
And this is the one I will say because it's the one I know off the top of my head. The audience score for the live action Lilo and Stitch, what do you think it was?
20.
93.
The audience score for the live action Lilo and Stitch is 93%.
Yeah, like I said, you have terrible takes.
Almost. I did not like the live action Lilo and Stitch.
Cinderella,
it's got to be like 95% for the animated. That one's like the classic. Live action, 65.
94 for the animated.
1% off. Let's go.
84 for the critic score. Cinderella's actually a really good live action.
Yeah.
It's in my top 3.
I didn't mind that one.
It's in my top 3.
That was like the first one ever, right?
Not the first one ever if you count Maleficent and the Alice in Wonderland movies.
Oh, okay.
But like, Cinderella started like we're going to do remakes of these movies.
The critics like these live actions way more than I thought they would.
Yeah. Now, okay. Jungle Book.
This one, I enjoy the live action more than the animated for this one. I have no idea what the critics are going to say. I'm going to go 87% for the animated. And I'm going to do 91
Oh my God.
for the live action.
The original animated movie got 88%. You
1%.
keep doing one off. The live action adaptation was 94. This is the only live action adaptation that critics and audiences, everyone agrees, was better than the original.
I was spot on that one.
You were so
I was
so
like
close.
1 and 2% off.
You're so close. What do you think out of all the live action remake, all the movies that Disney has made a live action adaptation for, what do you think was the highest Rotten Tomatoes score out of all of them?
Didn't we just say Jungle Book?
No.
What do you mean?
The original animated movies.
Oh, the original.
I'm not asking you what the highest rated animated Disney movie is of all time because that's way too big of a scale. I only know the answer for all the movies Disney adapted.
Okay, so out of the classic Disney movies,
I'll give you a hint. It's not on this list.
Okay,
that I just read.
But like when you say classic Disney movies, you're talking about like Disney princess movies
that Disney has turned into live action movies.
That Disney has turned into live action.
So the list of the live action movies we have: Cinderella, Snow White, Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Jungle Book, Lion King, Mulan, Lilo and Stitch, Pinocchio, Lady and the Tramp, Peter Pan, Alice in Wonderland, Maleficent.
Oh. Peter Pan.
What do you think was the highest rated Rotten Tomatoes score for the original animated films out of that group?
I think for some reason Peter Pan stuck out to me because they've made they've made so many offshoots of the Peter Pan movies like Hook and like a bunch of other remakes. I think they've made plays about it. They made plays about the author of the book. They've made, there's so many versions of Peter Pan. I think that's got to be one of them.
Personally, I think Peter Pan is one of the greatest stories ever.
Mm-hmm.
I love Peter Pan. I love Peter Pan stories.
Right.
But you're wrong.
Okay,
Pinocchio.
Pinocchio?
100%.
Pinocchio?
Pinocchio has 100% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes, and it is a terrible, terrible score.
Whoa.
Awful. I hate Pinocchio.
I would not have guessed Pinocchio.
I hate Pinocchio.
What's the?
I've never liked Pinocchio. I was always scared of Pinocchio.
Okay,
I was just like, I hate
you
Pinocchio.
just saw it too young.
I was traumatized by Pinocchio, and I never looked back.
Yeah.
That's the one live action movie I've never. That's a one Disney live action remake I never saw.
Yeah, puppets coming to life is a literal horror movie plot. That's Chucky.
No, I do not. I can't do Pinocchio. Can't do it.
Yeah,
not at all.
That surprises me.
Yeah.
What would you pick? What would be your favorite out of the original Disney movies? Yeah,
for the original wise.
Yeah, for the original Disney movies.
Like if you're a critic, is up there actually. I think out of this group, my favorite original animated film was Lilo and Stitch.
Okay,
but I think I'd put Mulan, Lion King, and Aladdin are my top.
Not bad picks.
Yeah, for like original animated films, like out of all the movies Disney adapted, those are my top. Those are my favorite 4 originals.
I fuck heavy with Aladdin.
Oh yeah, Aladdin's great.
Aladdin was
that's the closest thing I'll ever get to like a Turkish prince in anything.
That was my favorite Disney movie. Like, I watched that movie a billion times on VHS growing up.
I can show you the world.
Really? What's it look like?
Shining, shimmering, splendid, over, sideways, and under on a magic carpet ride. A whole new world.
You're literally breaking copyright rules right now.
I'll make you're not supposed to sing out of you.
You have to shut up.
A Hawaiian roll.
Bro, the algorithm is
coaster ride.
Berkan, you're not listening to me. You're not.
And I just can't wait to be.
It doesn't matter if you change the words. The algorithm's still not going to push out our video. They don't mess around with
I thought it sounded pretty pretty.
Yeah, but the mouse is going to sue us.
Oh, the mouse can try.
All right. Well, I think we done it, Berkan.
I think we done it. I think we did it. Hey, before we go, why haven't any of you guys signed up for our Patreon?
Well, we got to show them what we're all about.
Sign up for our Patreon.
Listen, I don't blame you. However, we're going to be here for a long time.
So sign up for our Patreon. If you want exclusive content, tell us what you'd want, and we'll do it on the Patreon.
We'll do it.
Exclusively. For the love of God. Also, give us 5 stars.
Leave us some reviews and some comments.
5 stars!
And tell us some of your movie opinions, and we'll read them on here.
All the stars. And follow us, please.
Just not on the clips. Follow us, review, comment, anywhere there's a live, full video. Not live. A full video. And we'll read your comment.
Yeah. Also follow us on all social medias at the Drive-In Movie Pod.
All right. And thanks for driving in with us.
Thank you guys. I just burped.
We'll see you next time.
See ya.